morning, beautiful friends. How are you? Crime Time Connie Butterfly Kisses. I've been missing you, girl. Chrissy, May, Kimberly. Meerkamp said, Chrissy, he's haunting you. Is Chrissy being haunted? Oh, we're not having that. We're not having that. Ruby, happy hump day. Well, thank goodness. Sister Karen said, good morning. Surgery went well yesterday. Now recovering at home. Wonderful. Wonderful. Melanie's enjoying the rain. Yes. Is it just me or this cool front that came through? All I want to do is eat and yawn. Like, I'm not a nap taker. I don't really have the gift of sleep like some people do, but it's so dreary and it's August. We have like a normal conversation in Oklahoma in August every year. Well, once Labor Day gets here, we won't be dealing with those hundreds anymore. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And now we're like, fuck a duck. It looks like November out there. Jinbug said, you're rubbing it in again, Brooks. Jinbug doesn't understand. She's in Arizona. She's my cactus girl. Which, by the way, I cannot wait to see her Halloween cactus. Okay? I can't wait to see it. You guys know I go nuts when she gets her cactuses ready. Joe Popowich. Good morning, Brooks. How is Brandy doing? All I know is that she got transported to that hospital and she is in good hands, great doctors, and they're getting her where she needs to be. Poppy Red Mustang said, I didn't get my notification. Hell's bells, I'm not having that. Well, YouTube really knows how to piss me off. Shonda's on a roll. For real, girl, you've been in here every day this week. What is going on? My goodness, and it is Wednesday. We are almost to the 3-day weekend. Yes. On Monday, Brooks is going to have a bunch of ribs in her belly. And I can't wait. Hold on. Who's having a birthday? Sarah's having a birthday? Whose birthday is today? Hold on. Is it Sarah? Uh-oh. Miss Kay said, I'm fired up now. Just been schooling a troll. Oh, do tell. Matter of fact, some people were trolling me yesterday. I didn't quite know what to say. Andrew Hiltz, Slim, and Lips. It was actually comical. I'm telling you, it was pretty damn funny. I was just like, wow. They wouldn't let me up on the panel to have a discussion with Andrew. So I just let them sit and spin, you know? Let them sit and spin. Well, let's tell our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friend, member of the channel for a very long time, happy birthday. Sarah girl, I absolutely love you. Love your comments. I love your deep dives. I love how we go back and forth in Discord. And today she's a half century old. Welcome to the nifty 50s, Sarah. You can sit with me. Happy birthday. Jessica said, I was there, Brooks. I thought I saw you in there. I didn't stay too long. I could see what was going on. Plus, the chat got super, super mad when I said, thanks to the big, beautiful bill, Andrew's going to have to get a JOB to keep his benefits because he is an able-bodied, grown-ass man. Okay? So, yes, I did say it. Some people are like, I don't think Brooks would say something like that. Brooks did. Yeah, Brooks did. Brooks did. I did. And that's like throwing kryptonite at Superman. when you tell able-bodied people that they may have to break a sweat one day in their life. Whoa, man, they get mad. Damn, they get mad. They don't like that at all. But today is Hump Day. Let's say hi to Mike.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo!
It is Hump Day, and it's Sarah's birthday. Remember, she's in the Nifty 50 Club. Sarah, do you have on pink today? Who's got on pink?
It's adorable. Oh, it's so fetch. What is fetch? Oh, it's like slang from England. So if you're from Africa, why are you white? Oh my God, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white. Could you give us some privacy for like 1 second? Yeah, sure. Okay, you should just know that we don't do this a lot, so this is like a really huge deal. We want to invite you to have lunch with us every day for the rest of the week. Oh, it's okay. Coolness. So we'll see you tomorrow. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Oh my God.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Megan Els is having a Wednesday like the Tuesday I had. She said, crap, my day was just ruined. I thought it was Thursday. Yes, yesterday morning I woke up and I'm like, sorting laundry. I'm like, I got to find something pink. It's Wednesday. And then I'm like, damn, it's on like Tuesday. I hate when that happens. What's really bad is when you have a dream on a Monday thinking it's Friday and you're like, and then you realize it's just Monday. It is just Monday. My goodness. Cat OG said, Sarah, you know what rhymes with 50? Denial. And we own it. And we own it, Kat. We own it. Let's take a second and tell everybody good morning. Happy Hump Day. By the way, if you missed the second show yesterday, it was a good one. Ernie called in from the hospital. You can see him. So people that are saying he's lying, nothing happened to him, he is clearly in the hospital. And my friend Gina rang in and schooled us all about the rules of the road. It was a great show. Please check it out. Melanie said it sure was, talking about the second show yesterday. And Melanie sent me a lot of stuff backing up the information we talked about on the show. Probably do another show about it next week. And I called her up to discuss it. What do you know? Melanie talks just like me. You would think we were Siamese twins. She talks just like me. Could you imagine if she came up to co-host? Woo, you all be in a lot of trouble. The minute she answered the phone, I said, fuck a duck. You talk just like me. Wow. Good morning, Anna Ruiz. Good morning. Well, I tell you what, I'm really waiting for the drama with Emmanuel's case to simmer down a little bit. These people, we've only known about these people since August 14th. Today is the 27th of August. Imagine knowing them before and then being active in your actual life. Whoa. They have pulled more shit in the last week and a half than Don and Candace Wells could ever dream of. They are abusive, murderers with malice, and they are hot ass messes. Rebecca, again, is doubling down. She is innocent. Her child was kidnapped. That's her story. That's all she's going to say. I hate to tell her that she is now with a group of women that nobody wants to be with. Nobody. It's like when that one chick that used to be around here, and she kept calling me and calling me and calling me on my birthday when I was turning 50 and I was celebrating being 50. I was watching Footloose and Dirty Dancing and Steel Magnolias, and I always cry at the Sally Field scene when she's standing by Julia Roberts' casket. I'm trying to enjoy my birthday, okay? And this bitch keeps calling me. When we say we don't want those people around us, there is a reason for it. You're not being snobby. You're not being racist. Sometimes you just have nothing in common with them. Like I said to Katie, when she finally, I gave her the liberty of talking to her on that Friday. And I said, listen, you've had 2 years to get a driver's license and get a job. All you've done is got food stamps, child support, and sucked a schizophrenic's dick. You and I have nothing in common. I said, Candace Wells is better than you. At least she has a driver's license and has a roof over her head. That's how we roll. So, people that can't sit with us, Rebecca and her new friends. Check this out. Rebecca, you made the cut. You are with the other murderous moms, momsters, the grossest of the gross. I think I'm going to put old Cherie Walker in there too. You know that lady out of Muskogee, Oklahoma? I think we did the show on them Monday afternoon. If you miss it, go check it out. 11-year-old daughter, 11 years old. Got pregnant at the age of 10. They said they didn't know. I'm going to put her in that one too. All right. So the prom king and queen showed up to court yesterday. I'm very confused about how the state of California does this. Basically, they just charged him. Okay. I would think that they would read the charges and arraign them. But for some reason, the arraignment is September 3rd. I'm going to assume that has something to do with legal counsel, because I don't see weekend DJ / work comp lawyer being able to deal with Jake's problemos. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I don't think he's going to be able to handle that. He doesn't appear to me to be courtroom savvy. I don't think he would know how to even get through an evidentiary hearing. Not that I could. That's the only reason I can think of why the arraignment will be on September 3rd. DJ Khalid, from my understanding, is he dropped old Jake like a hot potato. But they were in court yesterday, and look at Rebecca's face. Woo! This is her looking at Jake. And I'm sitting there going, are you finally going to tell the truth? Because this is a look that no husband ever wants to get from their wife. Nobody wants their wife to look at them that way. Wow.
breaking news in the Inland Empire, a major break in the case of a 7-month-old missing for more than a week now. The parents of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro have now been charged for his murder. The baby boy disappeared August 14th.
Look at Jake all leaning back like he's relaxed. What does he think he is? What's he think he's in? A lazy boy recliner? Watching a football game? Nasty.
That investigators are still searching for him. NBC4's Christian Cáceres is live in Riverside, where his parents made their first court appearance today. Christian.
Annabelle, good afternoon.
Slick suit, by the way. A lot of times I don't like when people blend blues. You know what I mean? Blues are really hard to blend. I like this, though. I like this navy and the lighter blue. I think that looks really slick on him. Sorry, that was off topic. Very crisp. I like this look. I would have had a tie with it, but I'm not a man.
Afternoon to you, and that's right, as you mentioned, Jake and Rebecca Otto were charged with murder and also for filing a fake police report. But as you mentioned, they made their first court appearance today. Take a look.
So for Mr. Haro, the court will...
Well, the parents of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro were supposed to be arraigned today inside a Riverside courtroom, but the judge pushed the case to next month because the couple's public defender said they had limited information, meaning no police report and only the complaint, which was actually filed today. Now,
Okay, I answered my own question. I think the public defender should have contacted us. We would have had the public defenders up to speed with the quickness, and they could have been arraigned yesterday. Come on, raise your hand if you think that we could have helped the public defenders. I know we could.
it's been 12 days since the couple reported their missing son from the shopping center in Yucaipa. That's when the boy's mother, Rebecca, said she was attacked from behind while changing his diaper in the parking lot. When she regained consciousness, she says her son was gone. For several days, sheriff investigators searched for the boy, but an Amber Alert was never issued. Investigators said the parents' story started becoming inconsistent. And last Friday, both Jake and Rebecca were arrested at their Cabazon home as the whereabouts of their son remain unknown. Today, several families came together outside the courthouse in support for the missing boy.
It seems like he didn't have a lot of love in his life, and so I just felt like it was important to come out here and just show him.
She's exactly right. This lady on the screen with the really pretty hair, she's exactly right. She's exactly right. Emmanuel was never shown love. And I love that people are pouring out saying he never had love. Buddy's mom said, by looking at her in this video, I truly believe she was doing what she was told. I also believe she's a DV victim. I do too. I think Jake is the one that popped her in both eyes. I think Jake is the one that told her to get the saw, get the line, get the lie, walk around with an empty stroller. I think Jake told her everything. Do I feel sorry for Rebecca? No. No, I do not. I do not.
You know, that people do care.
And according to court documents obtained by NBC4 Investigates, Jake was convicted in 2021 for cruelty to a child and in 2024 for being a felon in possession of a handgun. And Annabelle, I have to mention that Jake and Rebecca Otto's case, again, has been pushed to next month. And hopefully the public defender says they will have a private attorney. But again, they're hoping that all of this information comes together within the next couple of days. But we're also learning that tomorrow, the Riverside County District Attorney's Office, they plan on releasing more information about this case. They're holding a press conference tomorrow morning where we know the San Bernardino and the Riverside County Sheriff's Departments, they're both going to be there. So stay tuned to that.
Now, here I go again, because I can't find where the press conference is or what time. It's 7:21. Let me look at KTLA. It's 7:21 their time. So we shall see. We shall see. Hey, Retro. Yeah, said I think she's covering for him. Me too. And it's doing her no good in a hurry. All right, again, Rebecca claims she's innocent. This is from Fox Local Los Angeles. We know what she's saying, but her doubling down is ruining her defense. The best thing she can do is shame the devil and tell the truth of what really happened. All of it. What she experienced, what Jake did to Emmanuel, what he did to their 2-year-old. She should just tell it all. She would honestly feel better and probably get a much lighter sentence.
Is growing outside the home of a 7-month-old boy missing for nearly 2 weeks in Southern California. Emmanuel Haro was reported missing on August 14th. His mother told police he was kidnapped after she was attacked outside of a store in Yucaipa. Investigators say that story was made up. Both parents had now been arrested on suspicion of murder. The father, seen in an orange jail jumpsuit, was with investigators in the area where the baby was reported missing. The body of the baby was not found, but detectives believe he is dead.
Beautiful that baby Emmanuel gets the support. It's very unfortunate that he wasn't able to get it while he was still.
Speaking from jail, the mother said her husband would.
She keeps doing that. I want to be out looking for my baby. Well, you were out, and all you did was lie, Rebecca. You didn't look for anything.
Have never hurt the child. The Riverside County District Attorney's Office says a decision on filing charges has not been made yet, though. Both parents are facing a count of murder each. If those charges are filed, they could appear in court for arraignment sometime today. The Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office.
Okay, that has nothing to do with them. They drive me nuts. It's like a buzzsaw. Jake is pretending to be cooperative and give the sheriff's department and the investigators what they want. And Rebecca isn't going to get off this kidnapping story. She's just not going to. And of course, there's a lot of theories. Is he in a landfill? We know they searched a lot of dumpsters. They searched a lot. And if you remember the Quentin Simon case, when they started searching dumpsters and they got that scent, they started searching landfills. Yes. And Jake, we'll get to that in a little bit, spoke to a fake inmate and told a story that makes absolutely no sense. And it came out of a page of Megan Boswell's book. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk more about the search and what went down yesterday. Oh, look at Manfield. She looks like she's about to sneeze. She's like, chew. Chew.
Charges line up with what you're seeing so far, the early statistics, the early information, the early evidence that we know of, and suddenly these few charges that are starting to drip and drab out.
They do, Ashley. This is look, no body case is one of the biggest misconceptions out there, is that you cannot prosecute a case without a body. And there are jurisdictions in the United States where prosecutors even think that a jury.
Okay, I want to talk about that. Obviously, we know that Emmanuel has not been recovered. They have not found Emmanuel. He's presumed to be dead, murdered. And yet they have them both in jail for murder with malice. Okay. Now, there's other cases. I can't really see too much about the district attorneys because there's other cogs in the wheel and there's other things going on. Summer Wells is an example. I think they have a bigger scope than just Dawn and Candace. That's what it appears to me. Then we get to Fruitland, Idaho with the case of Michael Vaughn. That DA has absolutely no reason to not go ahead and prosecute Stacy, Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon. He has no reason not to. We have heard straight from Brandy's mouth about this probable cause that's bigger than the Vallow case. We've heard about the DNA, Stacy's confession. There is no reason at all for that district attorney in Fruitland, Idaho, to not move forward with Michael's case. And the longer he sits, the sicker Brandy gets. And it pisses me off. I'm not saying it's going to be a miracle and suddenly she's going to feel better once the wheels of justice get turning. But it will be a step in the right direction. So this guy is absolutely right. Not that I've ever prosecuted a case. I just hang with you guys. I sit with the cool kids over here.
Jury will never come back. I've prosecuted 5 murder cases to successfully with no bodies. So juries never want to give the benefit to the bad guy, to the killer, of successfully getting rid of human remains, especially when you're talking about a little boy like this. What's interesting is the 1109. That was a legislative evidence code that was enacted several years ago in the state of California that allows what's called propensity evidence. And because
okay, he's talking about propensity evidence that the state of California has. We don't have that in Oklahoma. We have circumstantial. That's just not something that's just not a term that they use here. Fundeski, not that it matters. We're not talking about Oklahoma today. Fundeski said, I believe that the court documents say last seen 4th of August. That goes exactly with the timeline that we put together when we first started talking about Emmanuel's case. I said something happened August 3rd or 4th. So, Fundeski said, so maybe they have better information. Do we trust what the court says as fact? Well, I do, because it's court record as evidence. Do I trust all the people that are saying they saw Emmanuel at the Costco on August 10th? No. You know why? You know why? Ask me why. Ask me why. Because Rebecca was buying saws and lime and shit like that before. She was seen throwing his clothes away before the 10th. I will just call that a mistake. Someone just goofed. Mistaken identity.
The dad had a previous conviction for this. I can tell you right now, they provided notice to that. That evidence is coming in. The defense is going to fight it tooth and nail, but it's coming in. The court's going to allow it. It will be upheld on appeal. And that's incredibly powerful corroborative evidence concerning Jake Harrow. And that is good. But I'll tell you another thing. They have forensically gone through every device, every phone. I guarantee everything that they were able to seize from the Harrows. And there is certainly evidence that we have not heard yet. And remember, there are ethical constraints on the prosecution regarding what they can release publicly, especially on a case like this.
I want to talk about this. Sam said, hi all, I can't believe the amount of people making excuses for her. Me too. By the way, I dropped the link. Don't be shy. Come up. I don't bite. I don't understand it either, Sam. I really don't. Yes, we can clearly see she has bruised up eyes. We can clearly see that. Somebody put their hands on my baby, they'd have more than bruised up eyes. And you wouldn't see me making up some fake kidnapping story. You wouldn't see me with an empty stroller. You wouldn't see me at the car wash wanting to pressure wash the baby stroller, which, by the way, is going to come into play someday. It's going to come into play. You wouldn't see me at a dumpster throwing away baby clothes and getting rid of pictures. No. Yeah. The people that take up for evil, they have their own streak of evil. Lauren, Someone get a fire extinguisher. Lauren said those men in uniform are making me hot and bothered. Woo! Someone fan the flames. Lauren getting all sappy.
And one of the things I just wanted to point out, everybody's been referring to the jumpsuit as an orange jumpsuit, and I think you said orangey red. The color of the jumpsuit in Southern California is actually very significant. That's a red jumpsuit, which indicates that he's what's known as a total SEP. In custody, he's been separated from all other prisoners because of the notoriety of this case and out of fear that he is probably at risk of assault by other inmates. Just his background alone.
Okay, we talked about this the other day. I don't remember who the know-it-all was, except there was no significance to his jumpsuit. They were like, Brooks, they all wear the same jumpsuit in California. I've seen a few California mugshots, and no, they don't all wear the same ones. Hell, just last week, I saw the Menendez piece of shit brothers. They don't have on that jumpsuit. No, they don't. So here this guy is saying it is significant because he is separated. Now, what I don't like, which just my opinion, he is not safe around other prisoners. Listen how the guy explains it again.
Indicates that he's what's known as a total SEP. In custody, he's been separated from all other prisoners because of the notoriety of this case and out of fear that he is probably at risk of assault by other inmates.
Assault by other inmates. Isn't that quite the jagged little pill we have to swallow? He's at risk for assault by other inmates. Look what he did to his 10-week-old daughter. Look what he has done to Emmanuel. Assault by other inmates. So they're keeping him safe. Yes, they're keeping him safe. Nobody kept Emmanuel safe. Nobody kept his baby girl safe. He is a monster, my friends. He is a monster. I had absolutely no issues when I heard about all those big old black dudes pooping in Adam Montgomery's toilet, and then they grabbed him and they put his face in it, and they got his ass with the toilet plunger, and I don't mean the suction part, and they had to take him to the infirmary and then moved him to Virginia. I didn't lose a wink of sleep. Telling you, everybody, I didn't lose a wink of sleep over that. Hey, there's no work comp in jail, Jake. There's no work comp. You're not going to have any more slip and falls. You're not going to get an ice pack for your coccyx that for whatever reason you keep hurting over and over at all the work that you pretended to show up to because you were just there to fraud insurance companies, and all they do is they pass their settlements on to me, Mallory, May, Vampires Love, Retro. That's how it works. Miss K. Insurance companies, that'll be a different show. Fucking tailbone sitting on his ass. He was rocking just fine with that broken tailbone yesterday, wasn't he? I didn't see no donut under his ass.
Just his background alone would put him high on the list of assault because other prisoners in general population will often retaliate against people that hurt kids.
A total SEP, S-E-P, right?
Total SEP, as in total separation.
Wow.
Right.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that the bright red is significant in that respect. Thank you for that. I always learn something from you, Matt. Filing a false police report. That is one of the new charges against Jake Harrow. But I just feel like a lot more charges are coming down the pike. Can you go over what he's facing now and what you think he may face in the future, as well as what Rebecca may face in the future, other than murder?
Well, that's one of the tough things about.
You know, normally we have stereotypes in our minds about pedophiles, child abusers, child murderers. You know what I'm talking about. That's when you know this case in point, that the devil comes in all shapes and forms, all different looks. Because Jake is not an unfortunate looking dude. Rebecca is not an unfortunate looking lady, even with those bruised up eyes. So, soft ass, tender buns, and this heartless bitch, based on stereotypes, you wouldn't suspect them of doing anything like this. No.
California, and you and I discussed this on your pod yesterday. The second-degree murder, which is what this is in the state of California, you get a parole hearing in 12 years. Filing a false police report is something, all the lies that she certainly told the police, and probably he, we don't know exactly what he said in his interview, but that is the type of thing that, it can add maybe a little bit of time, but you're still talking about a misdemeanor. So even if the court were to sentence what's called full consec, you're only talking about an additional 12 months. So it really doesn't add much. And I think that they are somewhat limited here, especially without human remains, because we don't know the exact circumstances of the death, at least publicly yet.
Tender buns should just go ahead and tell them. Tender buns should just really go ahead and tell them, because they're going to figure it out anyway. Or they're just going to keep pressing forward with the murder charges, and they're going to have to roll the dice on a jury and be very selective about a jury, because you're going to have someone that's a little smarter than the average bear, that's going to understand evidence without the smoking gun, as in Emmanuel's body.
Sadly, Ashley, the answer to your question is not very much. I don't see a whole lot in the way of additional charges. I mean, they could theoretically go for a conspiracy, but that's going to do what's called 654 in the state of California, or merge into the murder. Conspiracy to commit murder and murder are going to have the same sentence in California. So the court would only be able to sentence on the greater, which would be the murder itself. I doubt that this was planned baby deaths, and I've prosecuted several baby death murders over the course of my career as well. And they're almost always rash, emotional decisions. When the kid poops after clean diapers or breaks something, you see these really emotional, brash decisions. So you're not going to get a first-degree murder out of this. And unless there's some sort of torture allegation, there really is not going to be much more. Maybe if they find the body. Now, we don't know what anybody said. The fact that they're on the side of the road is, of course, significant, because the Riverside County Sheriff's and the DA's office that are very good at this, they know what they're doing on these cases.
They actually are very good investigators. Tender buns didn't realize that. They are very good at what they do. What's not good is when it gets put on a desk of a DA that has no shits to give, and in front of a judge that likes to just pat him on the back and say counseling will help. This time, way too high profile. Tender buns don't get it. Tender buns don't get it. Could you imagine? People have accidents. People slip. Hey, sweet toughness, girl, where you been? People have accidents, fall on the ice, slip off the ladder. But to hurt your ass 6 times in 11 years at work. Have you guys ever watched that movie? It's back in the 80s. I'm dating myself. Eddie and the Cruisers, and they have that song called Tender Years. Well, we're going to sing it together, but every time Eddie says, whoa, whoa, tender years. You're going to say, whoa, whoa, tender buns. Okay? Play a little game with you. And the moon we're talking about is Jake's ass. Okay?
Kitchen stardust in the light. You held me closer and closer.
Those are his butt cheeks.
There was magic in the night.
The night is his work comp claims.
A sweet love song, a melody.
The sweet love song melody is Jake's work comp settlements for his tender buns.
I still can recall two young hearts filled with dreams to walk away with it all. Whoa, whoa, tender years. Won't you wash away my tears? How I wish you were near. Please don't go, tender years.
Sing the chorus. Please don't go, tender buns. Vampire Love said, I got those tender buns. Well, I tell you what, that hurts when you know they hit the wrong hole. But that's not what happened to Jake. Not that it would hurt my feelings.
Summer love, a beach romance.
Slip and fall at Walmart. Slip and fall at Walmart.
Salted kisses in the sand. Two young hearts filled with fire. Lost in never land. Whoa, whoa, tender years. Won't you wash away my tears? How I wish you were near. Please don't go, tender years. Years. Won't you wash away my tears? How I wish you were near. Please don't go, tender years.
Yeah, he needs these buns. He's going to be popular in jail, and he needs those buns because it's how he makes money. That's a lot of work comp fraud. Poor tender buns. Poor tender buns. All right. Tender Buns has been up to a lot of stuff, let me tell you. All right. So, investigators are throwing it out that Emmanuel died 9 days before the 14th. That would be right there with our timeline. We said August 3rd or 4th. Tender Buns and that heartless bitch he's with, they know that Emmanuel was not alive on the 14th. And these rumors about Costco on the 10th make absolutely no sense because clothes are being thrown away the week of August 3rd. Pictures, empty stroller, and we're buying saws and lime. I'm no investigator. Just put together what makes sense to me.
Bring in Justin Shepard. He's a digital journalist to go.
Okay, this is TikTok Justin. I met him at CrimeCon. Nice enough guy. Wish he would do something different with that facial hair. Freaks me out a little bit. Sweet Toughness knows who he is. He drinks White Claws. Okay, so when a man is sipping on a White Claw, I'm just take what they say with a grain of salt. Okay.
By the handle just in the nick of crime. Okay, Justin, so much to cover. First of all, the couple in court, describe the demeanor. What was the vibe in there, especially between them?
Yeah, well, as you know, like you said earlier, they pushed back the court hearing, so it was very, very brief today. We only had about 5 minutes, and for the most part, they were both very quiet. You couldn't really get too much of a read on them, but it was pretty quiet and pretty brief.
5 minutes, holy cow! I get it, though, right? If they're going to push the arraignment, what else do you need to be there for? So you and I, and pretty much everyone in the world, saw Jake in his orangey red jumpsuit being trotted out next to Highway 60. I guess it was on Sunday. And the idea is, we didn't have audio on that, but the presumption is he's out there helping authorities to find the body. Maybe he's giving them the directions. Maybe he's pointing the finger at Rebecca and saying, here's where she threw the body. Maybe it's just the authorities taking him out there for a photo op so that they can show it to Rebecca and say, look what Jake's doing. You better talk fast and get to the trough first. In any case, do we have any idea what Rebecca has been doing while Jake's been out in the desert?
So I think you bring up a few interesting points with that because, yeah, we saw him out there and it could be a number.
Yes, Justin, she has interesting points. It's her show. Okay.
Number of things, but what it appears to me is it appears that he's trying to lead them as to where he might have last saw the body, where they might have disposed of it. But what's interesting about that is when you look at Rebecca, she is still doubling, tripling down on the story that she wants her baby back. She's not giving.
Of course she wants her baby back. You know why she wants her baby back? Because she wouldn't be in jail. Okay. Cat OG said, sorry, I know it's not cricket, but on the terrace shouting, Ola Rebecca in court. That was hysterical. Some people were saying he got arrested for that. I wish he would have tapped her on the shoulder and said, Ola, but he just said, Ola, Ola. I thought that was great. So they didn't arrest him. They pulled him to the side, which is called detained, and just told him, don't antagonize the murder suspects. Lynette is a new YouTube member. We have a lot of new members. Everyone, welcome Lynette to the family. You're going to love it here, girl. People talking about alcohol. Look at that. Lauren said, I miss Zima. Man, those were the days. High school at the lake. Zima's with Jolly Ranchers. Those were the days. Woo. To get a Bill and Ted's phone booth and go back in time, could you just imagine? Man.
Up hope, and that she's still saying that he's kidnapped. So what's interesting about this is that it appears, at least from outsiders' perspective, that they're not on the same page. And the biggest reason I say that is because if you go back to that 2023 conviction and the willful child cruelty from 2018, he threw his then wife, Vanessa, under the bus trying to blame her. And it almost seems like history might be repeating itself.
Wow. I wonder if Rebecca's aware of that, given the fact that she's in I
don't think Rebecca was aware of shit, considering the look on her face when they were reading out the charges and she was made aware that, well, for one, Jake wouldn't look at her. He wouldn't glance at her even one time. And that he took the police out to the Badlands to point out where Emmanuel, as we know, wasn't buried. So she's sitting there going, oh, really? Or as our friend on the terrace says, she's looking at him going, oh, really, homie? Really, homie? This is your story. And now you did this? Look at her face. No man ever wants that look from a woman. Woo! Rebecca, you got played.
A jail jumpsuit, giving interviews saying, everybody keep helping me find my baby. It just sort of defies logic. And, you know, does a tiger change his stripes? Okay. Then the other big thing today is that they have written in the court documents, you get the honor about language. Well, these documents for these two defendants suggest that the killing of baby Emmanuel could have been as early as August 5th. Any idea why that date? What is it specifically about that date, 9 days earlier than when Rebecca called police saying, a stranger took my baby?
Look how smart you guys are. Look how collectively, when we put our brains together, how smart we are. We said August 3rd or 4th. Boom, here comes the evidence. August 5th. So this Costco story can just get stuck right up Jake's tender buttons because there's no way that happened.
So I was actually surprised to see the August 5th to August 14th date because from what I've heard, and I guess this is unconfirmed, is that nobody has seen that baby in a month at least, which means you're pushing it back into sometime in July. My best guess is that they probably had to come up with some kind of...
White Claw don't know. We follow the evidence here. And if the evidence can't change, but more evidence comes in. White Claw don't know.
Kind of story, and again, this is my best conclusion to this, that they had to come up with some story that maybe somebody was asking about the baby, and since Emmanuel was not able to be produced because he's gone, they had to come up with this elaborate story, and that's what they decided to go with kidnapping. That's all I can think of that would make sense.
Did anybody hear what was going on, or at least was anybody within earshot and able to report out what Jake was saying roadside when he was out there with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department deputies?
No, I haven't heard any reports as to what exactly they were doing, which is kind of odd because typically if they have a suspect out there and they're trying to help them do something,
Oh, honey, I'm not saying it's malicious at all. Kat said, Brooks, it was said to be surveillance video from August 10th that shows the whole family in Costco. I guess it depends if that's been given to the police. They can get that in 2 seconds. It wasn't a malicious rumor. No, I don't think it's malicious. I don't think anybody is making anything up. It could be mistaken identity. It could be them with an empty car seat. Because it makes no sense to me that on the 10th, they have a family outing, but clothes are being thrown away before, saws are being bought before, and lie. No, I don't think it's malicious. I'll just wait for the police to tell me.
usually an oppressor, they'll tell you, hey, we have one of the suspects out there and that's what they're doing. But they've been pretty tight-lipped about a lot of this investigation.
That's the other question. Unusually tight-lipped, or is it sort of par for the course? I mean, that was such a thin set of documents today. Granted, the arraignment's going to be later, but it just felt like there was just so little to go on.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I think that it's maybe a little bit less, especially given the fact that they've now taken them both into custody. The fact that...
Oh, is that how it's done, Lauren? I didn't know. Lauren said, I love how Brooks doesn't only read and acknowledge super chats. I was in a live this morning where the lady only acknowledged super chats. Kind of greedy, in my opinion. Super chat me then. Woo! Come on. Super chat me. But you're right. That is rude.
They have enough digital evidence, digital forensic evidence. They took floorboards out of the house. So there's enough there that they believe that the child is deceased.
Okay, when I heard about the floorboards coming out, I had instant PTSD from Harmony Montgomery. When investigators were at the house, not the house, but the apartment on Union Street, and they were taking sheetrock out, floorboards, came out with a refrigerator, whoa, that was a punch in the gut. When I heard about them taking out the floorboards from that shack, I instantly thought Harmony Montgomery.
And they're really not giving a whole lot of information as to what's going on, why they're searching. We didn't hear anything about searches today. So it's been, I would say, to a degree, unusually tight-lipped.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
Yeah, that case is going to haunt me for a long time. Certainly will. Susan, Sam said ceiling tiles. That was horrific. Well, Tender Buns has been speaking to a fake inmate. A fake inmate. I'm just going to assume they put somebody in the cell that's an undercover officer. That's what I'm going to assume. And it's almost like he took a page out of the book from Megan Boswell. We have the baby was sleeping with us and I rolled over, that type of thing. Well, Emmanuel's 7 months old. Emmanuel can roll over. Emmanuel should be able to crawl on his way to walking. So what is this crazy ass story? You know, the more he talks, the further he digs his own grave. That is the truth, my friends. And that is exactly what he's doing. All right, this is from a lot of you, your favorite news daddy. And he is talking about this ridiculous story from Jake.
Thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please click to subscribe.
Yes, I'm subscribed.
It may have been up to 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Will they ever actually find baby Emmanuel? I'm joined now by Kim Dagonia, a former Riverside County prosecutor. Thank you for joining me again, Kim. I want to start with this new reporting that we have, that Jake confessed to police that he rolled over the baby, killed the baby, and then buried the baby. But apparently that story was not true, right?
Yes, that is correct. My inside sources are telling me that was absolutely a lie. He made that all up to the police in order to, I guess, garner some type of sympathy, garner some type of a linear charge or sentence, but he made up this entire fabricated story that he was asleep with the baby Emmanuel, that he rolled over onto baby Emmanuel. When he woke up, he realized the baby was dead and he panicked. And so he went out to the Gilman Springs area that we saw him with the police the other day, and he buried the body because he wanted to have the opportunity to go back and mourn.
Oh, get real. Shut up, Sally Field. I wanted a place to go and mourn because I accidentally rolled over on the baby. He's 7 months old. He's like 20 pounds. That'd be like accidentally rolling over on a sack of potatoes and not moving. And it's not going to instantly kill a child. What a ridiculous story. And what's even more ridiculous is some people believe it. They're like, I knew it was an accident. I knew it was an accident. Brooks, I told you it had to be an accident. I'm like, an accident? From a convicted child abuser? He should be in jail for attempted murder from his last thing. He should be in jail for all the work comp fraud. Very sorry system. Very sorry system they have there in that county. I'm telling you. Very sorry system. Rolled over on the baby and wanted a place to go mourn. You must be kidding me.
His son's death and visit him. That was his story. That's why he was out there in his chains and his shackles, allegedly trying to lead the police to the body that was never there.
Okay.
It was just part of the story.
The reason that we know that this is allegedly made up is because of this reporting that we have that he spoke to someone who he thought was an inmate in the jail, but it was actually what is known as, is it a Perkins operation? So it's actually a police officer who he admitted to actually killing the baby. First of all, can you explain what a Perkins operation is?
Sure. We don't know if the person who was undercover was a police officer, if it's another, run-of-the-mill citizen of the community that was acting as an undercover inmate. We just know there was another body in the jail cell pretending to be an inmate in the same inmate clothes as Jake Harrow, shackled in the same manner in which Jake Harrow is. And they begin to ask questions while being recorded to Jake specifically about the charges and why he's in there, in hopes that he will admit whatever really happened to baby Emmanuel to these fake inmates in custody. And it's called a Perkins operation. These types of investigative tools have been going on for decades.
Yeah, just go ahead and say it's common, and Jake is an idiot. Jake is an idiot. See, Jake's never done hard time. Jake's never had to pay for his crimes. Jake's never been held accountable for anything. His multiple abuses on women and children, the work comp system. See, he's never done hard time. So he is so stupid that he really thinks he just met him, like they got the buddy bench there in kindergarten. He just made a friend. It's extremely common, especially when they really want answers from someone. They will put someone undercover, chain them up the whole 9 yards, tell them don't shower for a few days, grow out that beard, and you're going in there. And he goes, oh, I just rolled over on him and I put him out at the Badlands, so I had a place to mourn him. No.
Agencies and district attorneys' offices across California, it's a very standard and typical investigative tool that you see the sheriff's department use in many different cities and counties across California.
Is it controversial at all doing that?
Yeah, it's been very controversial. I think Orange County District Attorney's Office was at the center of a lot of the controversy a few years ago. From that came a much tighter rein on how these are conducted. The Riverside District Attorney's Office, from my understanding and my experience, has gone to great lengths along with the Sheriff's Department to make sure that they are following and articulating the legal analysis and following the law as they conduct these operations. It's very specific, and in my experience, they follow the law in using this tool as an investigative means to get a confession out of many defendants over the years.
So this was a fake inmate who he told reportedly that he killed baby Emmanuel and then put baby Emmanuel into a trash can. I'm just thinking about waste management and all the trash cans and the landfill. I mean, it sounds like this could be very difficult in terms of finding his remains.
Yes, that's the sad part of all of this. That is correct.
I call it a wild goose chase. Buried in the desert of the Badlands. Rolled over on him. Oh, no, he's in a trash can. The next thing you know, they have to get all the manifests and everything from the waste management company, figure out where their trash is picked up from, dumpsters all around the places that they have possibly been to. What he's doing, what Jake is doing, it's a wild goose chase. He's biding time. And he does not have his public defender yet. He does not. And I promise when that public defender finds out what he has been saying to the fake inmate and all this other stuff, he's going to realize all I will be doing is paperwork because there is no defense left for him. Exactly, Melanie. Jake said he accidentally dropped his daughter in the sink. Yeah. Damn the luck. Just like he accidentally fell on his ass all those times at work. Then another accident, he rolls over on Emmanuel, and Emmanuel just suddenly dies? No. 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 Even in the Wells family, You don't have that many coinkydinks.
He did confess to these, we will call them fake inmates, that he did kill baby Emmanuel and that he threw him in the trash can at his home approximately a week before Rebecca Haro even stated that the baby was missing. So baby Emmanuel's been missing for quite some time. And as a result, Waste Management, from my understanding, has told the Sheriff's Department it would be nearly impossible to determine which Waste Management truck took the trash, which bin it was in, and which landfill this particular trash can would have gone to, making it almost impossible that we will ever find baby Emmanuel's body.
That's awful to think about.
It really is.
Terrible.
It really is.
So this Perkins operation with the fake inmate happened. Did that happen after, I'm assuming, the after he lied to lied and said that he buried the body?
Yes.
Okay. So that was really just a wild goose chase out there.
It was 100% a wild goose chase, from my understanding.
That's what I said, News Daddy. All of this. Smoke and mirrors. Wild goose chase. Hence why there's no Emmanuel. They have not found Emmanuel.
Well, that's got to be frustrating for law enforcement.
Oh, for sure. And it goes to show you Jake Haro's mental status, right? The level that he will go to not only kill an infant, but the great lengths he will go to cover it up and create this fabricated lie. Such a fabricated lie that he allowed investigators to participate in something that's not ordinarily done, which is basically taking a field trip out to a fake crime scene. I mean, he created all of that in his mind, knowing it was a lie, knowing it was fake, and lived out the entire lie for the next 24 hours with law enforcement. That's pretty intense.
Yeah,
and just the level that you're dealing with.
I'm thinking back to his story. He said that he was mourning his son, so he buried him. Like, how does that make any sense?
Right. He claims that from what I understand, he buried the body close to his home so that he could go back and visit, almost like a gravesite, because he never planned on telling anybody the baby was dead.
And but that was all made up.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Yes, it was all made up. And I believe what he told the fake inmate, which, yes, I believe he told them that, when they took him out to the Badlands, all dressed in his red prison garb, I still don't think when they went out there, they believed him. I just don't. They didn't have a forensic anthropologist with them. There was no medical examiner on scene. They were just letting him, small spoon, lots of sand, get to digging, get to digging, get to digging. And that's what he's doing. Just Breathe 187 said, I'm waiting for Rebecca to change her story. Her attorneys got to get her to turn on Jake. That's the only way this is going to come to fruition. When she gets her attorney, they are going to tell her, you have to tell us what actually happened. We will get you a better deal if you turn on him. Don't talk to anybody but us.
also reported that Rebecca Haro, that there was also a Perkins operation with her. So a fake female prisoner, and that she has been sticking to her original story, which is similar to what she said to the reporter for the newspaper who got through to her, that, you know, that there was this, essentially this kid.
Miss welcome to the channel, said he confessed to a fake inmate. Yeah, we're talking about that right now. But his confession was as fake as the inmate. As in, nothing came from it. His confession was as fake as a fake inmate.
Kidnapping, and that they don't know what happened. It's kind of interesting that that she's sticking to the original story, and it sounds like he's, you know, not.
Right, that's my understanding. She is sticking to this story that somebody stole her baby and she wants him to be brought home.
What do you make of that she's still sticking to the story?
I don't know. I was not there to watch the Perkins operation or to watch any of her interviews, but my best guess would be there's probably something mentally off with Rebecca Haro. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future months we see some type of mental health diversion paperwork being filed on her, domestic violence assertions that Jake.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because for the next few years, because this is not going to trial anytime soon, we are going to see a lot of domestic violence paperwork. We are going to see a lot of mental health evaluations, and it's all going to be focused on Rebecca. Rebecca. She is domestic violence. This is 100% domestic violence. That is going to wind up being her defense. Will it float? Well, some turds do and some don't.
Inflicted upon her. I don't think we're done with hearing the backstory behind Rebecca. I don't. I think there's more to come.
Do you think she's trying to cover for him?
I'm not sure at this point if it's trying to cover for him or if it's a cycle of abuse where she's afraid. I don't know if there's maybe some cognitive lower intelligence that she's, just repeating what she's been told. But like I said, again, I don't think we're done hearing the backstory to Rebecca. I think there's more there.
With these Perkins operations, since you have been a part.
Yeah, there's something floating around that she was trying to get money in 2009, saying that she was pregnant with a baby that has some sort of genetic defect. She is definitely low intelligence. She's got, I don't really care either way. And that people realize it was a scam. I need to get to the bottom of that before we talk about it more. I will not be shocked if it's the same Rebecca. I'll just tell you that right now.
Part of many before in your past. Do they record them or how do they work? Like, how do they go down? How do they find the people? I'm sort of fascinated by it. I'd never heard of it before. How do they find the people to do this? Do they record them? Like, kind of walk me through the whole process.
And when you say I've been part of them, I don't.
Listen, don't worry about it, News Daddy, because they would never use you. They couldn't use you because you would stick out like a sore thumb. But he's like, walk me through this process. Walk me through this process. You won't ever walk through this process. You would stick out like a sore thumb. Okay?
Actually go to the jail and watch them. There's a DA designated for that. That's his sole job. And it's in order, again, to protect the privacy and to make sure that the standard legal procedures are being followed. So there is one deputy district attorney designated to that unit, which is a great thing that the Riverside DA's office has done to preserve the integrity of this type of investigation. So what happens is that particular assigned DA goes to the jail, watches the entire interaction go on between the inmates, the fake inmates, the actual defendant, and the actual detectives. It's being recorded the entire time. There's cameras in the jail cell. There's cameras on the, what we're calling fake inmates. And it's all above board. Everybody can listen to it later on, watch it, see it. There's nothing hidden once it's done. It's turned over to defense, and it's routinely used as evidence in jury trials, the recordings from these operations.
It's kind of interesting that Jake Haro wasn't suspicious that maybe that was what was happening when he was talking to this other person.
It's kind of interesting that this seems to happen all the time. The inmates really don't become suspicious. They just verbal vomit everything to these inmates. I don't know if it's, to garner some type of strategy in custody to be part of, the violent members so that they're not attacked. I don't know if it's a preservation reason why they disclose, but it's shocking to me the amount of times there's disclosures and admissions made to other inmates in this setting.
Especially when it comes to killing a baby.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, in the past when I've done stories, if you like hurt a child or you're a sex offender. I mean, it doesn't seem like the other inmates normally take to that.
Right. Right. It's shocking he would admit that because you would think that would not bode well for him in custody at all.
So let's talk about these charges that we now know about: murder, domestic violence, and making serious false complaints. Is that what you expected?
It is. I'm a little bit shocked they didn't file a special circumstance on this case. You know, there's a litany of different ones they could have. But again, they're in the beginning stages of investigating the case. I think this isn't the final complaint that will be filed against Jake Haro. I think at some point there probably will be an amended complaint with certainly a special circumstance added to it. What we know based on the complaint that was filed, it looks like first-degree murder was charged with Jake Haro. That 1109 that they're putting everybody on notice about, it reads like domestic violence, but what that really is putting everybody on notice about his prior child abuse that he did with Jane Doe, the 10-week-old baby, that they intend on using that information in future litigation, in preliminary hearings, in jury trials, that that information, the district attorney's office is seeking to admit along with the evidence of baby Emmanuel.
Yeah, and I'm going to get back to the 1109 in a second because that part stood out to me. But when you say you're surprised they didn't file, I think you said special circumstance. What does that mean?
So there's certain code sections in the penal code that after you file a murder, you can also file what's called a special circumstance. A special circumstance elevates the sentencing scheme from 25 years to life on a first-degree murder. And then it takes you in the range of either life without the possibility of parole or you're eligible for the death penalty. And we saw, Riverside County, even though there's a moratorium in California, Mike Hestron has been very clear that if the facts warrant and it's so heinous, he still files the death penalty in a lot of these cases. So in order to get to that type of charge, you would have to have a special circumstance attached to the murder charge, which is not in this case.
And back to the 1109, you talk about section 1109, and this was in the charging documents. It says, pursuant to section 1109 of the evidence code, evidence of the defendant's commission of other acts of domestic violence may be admissible at a trial in a criminal action in which the defendants are accused of an offense involving domestic violence. The people hereby give notice of the people's intent to admit evidence of prior acts of domestic violence pursuant to evidence code 1109. So you said it, but I just want to make sure I understand. So basically, are they saying we plan to bring in these other cases, like the case we've talked about of the other child who was badly hurt?
It sure seems that way. 1109, if you go on and read it further under section 3, it talks about prior abuse on dependent children. And so my guess is that's exactly what they're alluding to in this complaint.
So back to Jake Haro and his different stories that he has allegedly told. And then you've got Rebecca still standing by the fact that she says there was this kidnapping. Is it possible that he killed baby Emmanuel and she doesn't know?
Is it possible? I guess, but is it reasonable and likely? I don't think so. They were living together in the same home. She presumably lived in the same house where she sees the photographs being taken down of baby Emmanuel, all the clothing being gone, the baby's not there. I mean, it begs the question, why didn't you call sooner? If you weren't part of the cover-up, if you weren't part of the murder, if you weren't part of aiding and abetting, why in the world as a mother did you not call the very first day Emmanuel was no longer in your home? It just doesn't make sense.
We know why. I don't need to hear about the 1109. I don't need to hear any more about the fake inmate because, well, that's common. And Dum Jake, Tender Buns, basically just spilled a bad bill of goods. We know why she didn't call immediately, because she's part of it. She's part of it. That's why. I don't know. My question is, I don't know why she didn't protect her son. I don't know why she didn't protect her daughter. I don't know why she is with somebody who she damn well knows disabled his daughter. His little girl has 3% brain capacity after what he did to her. This was no slipping in the sink. It is shaken baby syndrome.
So no, I think that she had to have known something nefarious went down.
Yeah, that would make sense. Last time we spoke about how there was no body, and prosecuting a no body murder case can sometimes be tricky. Based on what we now know about this, I guess you could almost call it a jailhouse confession to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
How much more solid is the case now? And are those Perkins operations always admissible at trial?
They're typically, yes, always admissible as long as the district attorney can point to the fact that they followed the legal requirements, which, again,
I am really glad that he brought that up. Are these fake confessions with a fake inmate? Because some people call it entrapment. You got some real weird ass clutching at straws, far-reaching defense attorneys. Yes, it's admissible. Matter of fact, old fake inmate in probably 2-3 years will take the stand and explain what he was doing there, what detail he was on, and he will reiterate and confirm and affirm his conversation with Jake. Yes.
And Riverside has been, in my experience, the lead on this in California. I don't have any reason to believe that they didn't conduct this operation in the exact legal manner in which they always have. So in that case, if the Perkins operation comes into trial, I think that makes it such a stronger case. It doesn't matter that it's been a no-body homicide. It doesn't really matter for evidence purposes that Emmanuel's body hasn't been found or won't be found. I think that the admission in and of itself is solid, and that's enough.
And just back to the timeline, I'm still a little confused, and maybe you can help explain this. If he said to the fake story to police that he buried the body, killed the baby a week ago, but then allegedly told the fake inmate that he killed the baby 3 weeks ago and threw him in the trash, what do you think? I mean, what do you think we should make of the timeline? Do you think he's telling the truth to either of them?
He's sprinkling in truth, because we do know clothes were in the trash. We do know pictures were removed. He's sprinkling in the truth. He, for one, will never tell the full truth. It's going to have to be Rebecca. They are going to have to get someone to get her to talk. Now, if she did this solely and fully on her own, she won't talk. But that is impossible because they're both in jail for murder with malice.
As far as the specifics of the timeline, I don't know if he's telling the truth. I think based on the first information we have from the neighbors saying when they discovered, or when Jake came over and asked if they could use the trash can and give and they put the clothing and the baby's bedding in the neighbor's trash can. From my understanding from inside sources, that was about 3 weeks ago. And in the Perkins operation, from my understanding, Jake Harrow alluded to the fact that the baby had been missing even the week prior to that. So that puts us at a 4-week timeline that Emmanuel's been missing. When's the last time somebody saw Emmanuel? I don't know. I haven't heard a witness come forward and say definitively the last time they saw Emmanuel. But it seems to me, based on piecing everything together between the first story, the second story, and the neighbors, that we're pushing maybe 4 weeks, 3 weeks at least, where he's been gone.
That's crazy to think about. I mean,
I know.
It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if the trash story is true. I mean, again, I hate to even think about a baby in the trash. It's awful, but it seems like it would make it even harder to find. Because I've done stories before actually involving babies that they were looking for, where they got, sources that said that this happened where the baby was in the trash, and they'll actually go through and like dig the landfill, like they'll do like a whole line of people where they actually look.
Right. I think the issue here is we don't know which landfill. We don't even know which trash can. We don't know which day the trash came. And it sounds like law enforcement did reach out to Waste Management, and they just weren't able to get a definitive answer in order to do those things.
Yeah. Just seems like it gets more tragic every day, you know?
It really does. I'm thankful that there's charges filed and that they're in custody, and hopefully both of them will have a change of heart and decide to come forward and tell all the details, all the truth.
Well, I wouldn't hold my breath on that if I was those two. I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Wicked Witch. Brooks, did you hear about the little 11-year-old that had a baby in Oklahoma? I certainly did. It's on our news every day. We did a show about it Monday afternoon. Go check it out. I got another one coming up because it's more heinous than what you would even believe. We talked about it a little bit last Friday, and I did a full show about it Monday afternoon. Yep, you bet. Dang, these people are driving me insane. Fake inmates, Costco, saws, I mean, you name it. These people are driving me insane. Yeah, for those of you that are asking about the 11-year-old, it was our show. Here, let me get it. Share. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there's the link. Yeah, check it out. It's truly disturbing. I think I'm going to take a break from Emmanuel tomorrow morning because I know I've been jawing your ear off about it for, 2 weeks or so. I think we're going to focus a little bit more on the 11-year-old in Muskogee tomorrow morning, but we'll see. Now, has everyone hit the like? Don't let me down. Don't let me down. I like you. I like you. I like you. You can like me. Hit the like. And does everyone have their reminder on? Does everyone have their reminder on? Because I don't have a full let me put it this way. I don't know exactly for sure what time this press conference is going to be today. I've heard 9 a.m. their time, and I've heard 1 p.m. their time. If anyone knows for sure, because I want us all to get together, I'm going to set up a stream and just have your reminders on. Okay? Or check back to the channel. Check my Facebook. Whatever. And the minute they have the press conference, we will go live. Like and how. Like and how. Like and how. Exactly, May. Like and how. All right, you guys. I'll see you back here in a couple hours. Plus or minus. I don't know. So the show I was going to do on the other channel, I'm going to put that on the back burner, as Candace Wells says. And we're going to watch the press conference. Then, of course, same great place, same time, and same great people. I'm going to drag the fuck out of those people from Muskogee, Oklahoma. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for everything you do. Happy Hump Day. And I'll see you back here shortly. Hopefully.